love tonight. What? But it's gonna be alright. Yeah. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Click that. Let's go. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I want to break this thing up. Let's go. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I want to break this thing up. Let's go. If you want some, come get some.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of FTW Future Focus. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and we have the Fantastic Four with us today. I am Ben Grimm, and our leader of the group for today, he is the man from Chicago, Illinois, the silent but deadly human being who has about as much use for women's wrestling as I do for random nudity in commercials. He is Marvelous Marcus Buckley. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Good to see you, Mr. Richards. Now, underneath me is the invisible girl of our group, but she is not invisible to us because we have mental capacities beyond the human mind. She is from North Carolina. She is the Tigress Ty Nickerson. How you doing?
FTW. I knew you'd come.
Sweet. And our host for today, he is the master of wine, women's song, and cigars, the president of Motown Wrestling Group. On Facebook, he is Tony Motown Allen. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good. I don't know how wait a minute, before I say what I'm going to say. Sorry, Mom up there. How'd you know I came, Ty?
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh my God, we're on the board already, and we're always with the mark with the intro, Tony. Always with the mark on the intro. Okay, now before we
I got no handcuffs.
Speaking of which, before we get started hot and heavy, the mastermind Bobby Rogers. What's that?
That's what she said.
I knew that was coming. Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus, the That's What She Said edition. But before we get started up here, the mastermind Bobby Rogers, we want to give a shout out to him, the founder of our feast, the president of FTW Network. He won't be joining us today because he is feeling under the weather, as you might have noticed over the last few shows or so. He has had a really bad congestive cough during our interactions, and that's because the man has a heart condition, and he needed some new medications, and he needed the week off this week. So Bobby, if you are watching or watching later, we are with you. Good health and happy holidays to you, and please come back next week if you can. The Fantastic Four is going to soldier on here.
Prayers up for Mastermind.
I'll raise the finger once for Mastermind. Yes, there you go.
No, to the CM Punk.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay, speaking of raising fingers, our first order of business today is our review of the Survivor Series PLE from last night. And the first
I forgot to ask if you had the line. Do you have the lineup, Rob? If not,
I do have the lineup. So if you would like me to intro the matches, I shall. If that's going, that'll become our Thanksgiving tradition. Okay. Our first matchup is the Women's War Games match. Team Rhea Ripley versus Team Liv Morgan. And since it's the ladies' match, we will start with the Queen of Motown Wrestling Group. Ty, what did you give this match?
Oh, I give this match a solid 3.5. It would have been higher had it been better. The only thing I liked about the match was Rhea's mask when she came out. That was the only thing badass. Other than that, I loved it. The best part was Bayley using Bianca's braid as a weapon to whip Raquel like she stole something. And the Swanton bomb Tiffy did. It looked a little bit sloppy. But it could have been better. My boo does the Swanton better, so Tiffy can suck it.
Well, goddamn. I know what Tiffy can suck.
Oh!
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh, wow.
And you know what's this time? It's titty time. I mean, Tiffy.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I was tempted not to count that one because that was almost too cute to go on the board. Speaking of too cute for words, Marcus, what did you think of this match?
I'm gonna tell you guys, I give this match a solid 0.25. This was
brutal.
Some horrible bullshit. Okay, I thought last year's match was bad. I don't know which one was worse. I mean, first of all, okay, this is War Games. Why the fuck, other than Bayley, who was first, every fucking woman had to stay outside extra 20 plus seconds to grab a weapon? What? This is War Games. All right, if I'm in the ring getting my ass beat and my partner's out wasting time outside to grab weapons, I'm pissed. All right, and then EO once again did that stupid ass where you climb to the cage with a garbage can, and why the fuck would she put a garbage can on her head and jump in the ring? That is stupid and that is pointless. The only thing
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't be able to see.
The only thing that's stupider than that are the women who stay there to catch her. That's the only thing that's stupid. I'm not doing that shit. You ain't jumping on me with no goddamn garbage can coming down there. What the fuck? I say fuck you, Hunter. Fuck you, Vince. You catch this bitch. I'm not doing that dumb shit. I mean, this match told no kind of story at all. I mean, it was just the weapons. I mean, okay, you have War Games, you have weapons, and not one person got blood. Are you fucking kidding me? No, you cannot do that. That's horrible. What's the point of the weapons then if nobody gets blood? Stupid. Then one of the weapons is a goddamn toilet seat. What the fuck am I looking at? A toilet seat for a weapon? Are they kidding me? This is absolutely horrible. Like I said, it told no story at all. The only reason this didn't get a solid 0 from me is that Naomi stink face on Nia, and I was drooling. That's the only reason why that got 2.5, because she buried her ass all.
Wait, Marcus.
What?
Those cakes only got a 0.25?
No, that's just how horrible this match was. It started. This was a negative 18.
Oh my God! Thank you for joining us.
And them cakes brought it up to the positive. Okay.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
This was 56 minutes.
Hey, Mark.
I can't.
I'm sure those cakes brought up a lot more than the score.
Well, yeah, and it brought it up way more than 0.25 too, but that's a whole nother difference. But anyway, this was just awful, a horrible way to start this show. They need to do away with this match. They really do. The women don't need to be doing War Games. It's just bad. I'm gonna tell you, if they do this shit next year, I'm gonna skip the first hour of the show. I can't watch another one of these.
That was fantastic, brother. That's why we called you Mr. Fantastic, Marvelous Marcus Buckley. That was a beautiful, beautiful breakdown. Tony, I hate for you to follow that, but try.
It's funny that I'm following Marcus because my mom was watching it too, and she really enjoyed it. I liked the match as well, and she was, this is really good. But I knew there were spots in the match. I'm like, there were some spots in this match. Like, let's wait to hear what Marcus about it.
One more thing too. Were those not the softest ass chair shots you ever seen somebody throw? I mean, Nia, I understand you're not trying to hurt somebody, but if you're gonna throw a chair shot like that, don't do it. Just don't do it. That was horrible.
But for me myself, I definitely enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than Marcus. I gave the match a 3. I mean, we start off with Naomi. It was her birthday yesterday, and of course, before we even get started, we got started with the birthday cake. I thought just because of the birthday cakes that Naomi was bringing up there, Marcus would have enjoyed it a little more.
Well, I couldn't eat them, so I mean, shit.
Thank you for joining us.
The only thing I would save that match.
Oh my God!
Damn, Marcus, you eat her cakes?
Oh hell yeah! I'll put my icing on. I'll put my icing on top afterwards.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Good God. Okay.
You see, my charge. It's just going. I thought there was a lot of good spots in the match that was pretty entertaining. There were some spots in there that I was really curious to see what Marcus was say about them. And damn, he did not let us down. I enjoyed the garbage can spot, and I respect it for like how courageous it's gotta be, because I'm sorry, you talk about the women catching them. You are basically leaping off that tall ass cage blind. Nothing between you and the ground but prayer and hope that them bitches didn't move. So I give her credit for that. And I knew, like, the chairs, I knew Marcus was gonna rip those up. And it's funny because Marcus talked about how long the women took to bring weapons into the match. One thing I agree with Marcus on, if I'm in there and get my ass whooped, and I see you outside there looking for a goddamn weapon, I'll be like, dude, get your ass in here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But the thing that really stuck out for me was when Tiny Tish was looking for weapons. That bitch took forever looking for weapons to come up with nothing. The 20 seconds that Marcus talked about all these bitches looking for weapons and coming in there with one, she took the same amount of time and brought in nothing. She brought in less than what she had in her bra.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Good God Almighty, we're racking them up already, and we're not even past the first match. I gave it
a 3 though, and I thought it was really cool that Rhea Ripley got the win over Liv Morgan. God knows she needed it. I mean, Liv took her man, she took her group, she took her belt, and kept her group, and kept her man. Like, that revenge tour, she put it on Rhea Ripley. Like, done. So it's about time.
Wow.
Rhea got a little comeback on that one. And did y'all see in the group the picture of Rhea and Io after the match?
No.
Io jumped into her arms, and then she kind of had her leaned over, her tongue out and everything. There's something going on with them two.
Oh God!
Check that out.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw it. You saw that picture.
I saw it. Was it the one that Io hugged her or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw it. Okay, I did.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. That's a complimentary one, just for the visual. And now I have to find it. Damn.
Before you move on, Rob, though, because we got the King Elite show said the last 10 minutes of the women's match was really good. Thank you, King. I mean, I'm sorry, I said King Elite. Oh, Jesus Christ. King Elite show.
Okay, well, Here's how I see this.
Joining us, and thank you for watching. Keep watching.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you for watching us. There's two extremes for me with this match. All of you guys made excellent points. I gave this 3 1/4. I fell in between Tony and Ty here. But Marcus made some very excellent points about the negatives of this match. All true, especially the shit about every single person stopping before they got into the goddamn cage to help their partner and grabbing a weapon that either didn't help or took too long to find.
If they found it at all.
Yeah, if they found it at all, yeah. And EO with the dive, it was breathtaking, and there were a lot of good spots in this match, but they took too long to set up. There was too much furniture, and it's obvious why. WWE wants to have their cake and eat it too when it comes to hardcore matches. They can't have blood, and they have to be careful with the plunder because of it. So they had a whole lot of knockoff shit used as weapons in this match, including the fire extinguisher and the toilet seat and random shit that was thrown into this match in order to facilitate the idea of having a hardcore match without it being dangerous or bloody. And that's bad. And then this will come up later. That you've got to make a choice. Either put the weapons in the damn cage so that everybody can get to them in the context of the match so it doesn't look stupid, or let people blade. One or the other. So
now, with the episode, I will throw this disclaimer out. We'll talk more about it on the men's. It wasn't just the women on some of this criticism now, especially when it comes to
absolutely not. It's not just the women, but we'll get to the men's match at the end of the review. But I couldn't hate on it as much as Marcus, because the moments that Ty mentioned and that Tony mentioned were pretty decent for spots. But every single criticism that Marcus pointed out was 100% valid, and I applaud that review. So
we're not finished yet.
Oh no! There's a whole rest of the card needs.
No, I'm talking about this match. There's more to come. I left the most egregious one out on purpose.
Okay, but I get where you're coming from, but anyway, my score was 3 1/4, and we will move on from there. Okay, second match for the United States title. LA Knight defending against the returning and psychotic Shinsuke Nakamura. I want to go first on this one, because number one, I was very happy to see Nakamura. Number two, I was happy to see him win the title. And number three, I was happy to see the big deal they seem to be making out of him, which is several fucking years too late. I gave this match 3 3/4. Knight hung with Nakamura very well. I've always admired his skills, especially when they're actually utilized instead of thrown away on crap. Shinsuke looked great. The Kinshasa, thank you, dear, ended the match decisively with a beautiful shot, and Nakamura just looked great winning the belt, and whatever they move Knight onto after this feud couldn't be any worse than the bullshit they did with Logan Paul. So 3 3/4, I enjoyed this match. Tony, you can go next.
Because you touched on a couple of things that I was thinking about as well with this. I was shocked that LA Knight lost the title to Shinsuke Nakamura. It's nice they getting Shin a push, but God damn, like you said, Rob, it's like 5 years too late, though. I think that's the only problem I had with it. Like, it was just too late. I mean, you're almost at the point. You didn't do this when he was red hot. You did this when he just came back, and people. I mean, I just felt like even the audience was not really invested into this. It's because we just seen him misuse Shin so much. When it finally happened, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that they're doing it to keep him from leaving. His contract may be up soon, and they want to make sure that he doesn't show up on Dynamite or go back to New Japan because they still love him, and they would love him in AEW. So yeah, I think they're throwing him a bone finally in order to get him to stay. What did you give this?
But the cool thing though with this match though, I mean, I thought it was a solid match between the two. I like LA Knight's work with it, like the mind games that Nakamura was playing with him, and LA Knight kind of like brought that to the match. Just kind of like seemed off his game, dropping the title. Just you could tell Shin was in his head, so that was really good. Nakamura looked like New Japan Nakamura. He worked stiff as fuck in this match, in my opinion. Like he dropped that. I mean, there's a couple things he did. He did a hard back elbow that looked stiff as fuck.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the reverse suplex. I mean, the stuff that he was doing. I mean, I feel like it's like too late, but it's like we get New Japan Shin. So if they're gonna let him continue to do more of this stuff, where it looks more like New Japan Shin versus watered down Shin. No, the King of Strong style is gonna be strong again. I'm for it. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen though. But I gave the match a 3 though.
Okay. Well, like Ty said, his new nickname is the King of Goth Style.
Right.
That was a good one. I like my nickname for him. I called him Naka Taker.
Naka Taker.
Marcus, what say you?
I gave this match 2.5. It was okay. I agree with you guys that Nakamura looked really good. I don't know if it's Hunter let him do more what he wants to do, or if the time off did him good. Maybe let him come back refreshed. I'm not sure, but
it's quite a combination though.
Yeah, but he looked really good. The only thing for me with this match is, to me, it just ended kind of suddenly. Maybe I'm too used to seeing bullshit finishes, maybe, and with Nakamura pretty much beating him clean, and it just came out of nowhere, knee to the back of the head, which to me is a finishing move, but just a hit my finisher, no kick out, 1, 2, 3. I was like, damn, that's it. Maybe I was just kind of surprised to see that, but the match
ain't that what you been wanting?
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I mean, an actual finisher that finished the match. I was just like, okay, that's it. But it was okay. Said Nakamura looked good, and I hope they let him keep the title to at least Mania. At least I hope. But overall, I gave it 2.5.
Okay, Tigress.
I give this match a 3. I'm glad the King of Goth Style got the belt, but they waited just like Tony said. They waited about 5 years too late to put the belt on him. I like the fact that they can give us New Japan Nakamura. For anybody that hasn't watched any matches with Nakamura from New Japan, when y'all get a chance, just look up some of his matches from Nakamura's matches from New Japan if you get a chance.
Oh hell.
Oh
yeah.
I hope they give Nakamura
fan stuff, so definitely do that.
Yeah, him and Okada. Oh my goodness.
Him and
Muda.
Muda.
The only match I liked with Nakamura was him and AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yeah, or Tanahashi. That's a really good one.
But yeah, they waited about 5 years too late to put the belt on Nakamura. Do I think they should have gave him a title reign then? Absolutely. But I'm happy King of Goth Style got the belt. How long he'll keep it, the hell if I know.
Well, hopefully they keep that entrance, but we'll get there.
Oh, that
Now,
Move.
wait, real quick before we move on. We got another comment in the group. Same one, Keen Elishaw. To me, they're heating him up because he has a Nora appearance in January, and they think that he'll drop the belt after that.
Well, that's a possibility. I mean, Nakamura.
I don't want that, but they got a point.
No, they do. Let me say, Nakamura would be a hit anywhere that he goes, especially if you let him be the absolute charismatic guy that he is. In NXT, he was perfect. They could have left him exactly like that, pushed him on Raw or SmackDown, and it would have been just fine. Instead, they turned him into a goddamn joke. They gave him Sami Zayn as a mouthpiece because they didn't want to let him do the menacing Japanese interview, and it was garbage. And they really screwed him over because they couldn't get over the fact that he speaks broken English. Screw that. Absolutely screw that. The man is phenomenal. He's like a cross between he's like a cross between Prince and Elvis Presley. So yeah, you know, yeah, and he wrestles and he's damn good at it. So, you know, great for Nakamura. Okay, next match for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defending against Sheamus and Kaiser. Marcus, go first on this one.
Okay, I gave this match a 4. This was the best, to me, the match of the night, or the match of this show, as far as I'm concerned. Ludwig really carried this match to me. I mean, you know, I love Ludwig. I really hope at some point in time he gets used and gets a major singles run. I mean, the guy is incredible. I mean, he takes his selling and the bumps he takes. I was really impressed with. I thought all three guys worked well together. I mean, and Braun Breaker may have thrown the best spear I ever seen on Kaiser. I mean, that spear that he did. I mean, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon. That spear was incredible. I mean, the right guy won. I think all three guys looked good. They worked well together. And to me, this was match of the night. I give it a 4.
Marcus, I could not have said that any better myself. I gave it the exact same score for the exact same reasons. Breaker looked the way he was supposed to, like a damn good champion. Ludwig Kaiser stole the show and was definitely the MVP of that match, from screwing over Sheamus to taking that spear to being the absolute asshole spoiler of the match. And Sheamus looked like a absolute boss when it came to this match, because I think that he was the one calling it. I think that Sheamus old school called this match, and that's why it worked to perfection. And it wasn't just it wasn't your typical triple threat either. All three participants were active through the whole thing, and it didn't have that clunkiness that multi-men match have. It was a solid 4 for me. The only thing that was really wrong with it was the fact that it should have been a single elimination, and that excuse me, and that Braun Breaker has a crappy name. That's the only thing that was wrong with this match. Ty, what did you think?
Why don't we call him Braun Steiner?
Why can't they call him Rex Steiner? That's a goddamn good name.
Especially when they keep referring to his family.
Yes, that was horseshit. On commentary, they can't even mention the name of the Steiners because there's no such goddamn tag team as the Breaker Brothers. And if they do exist, they probably suck. Ty, please.
All right, everybody. Robert, woosah. Okay. I give this match a 3.95. They definitely did triple threat match perfectly, the way it was supposed to be. Ludwig Kaiser, the absolute standout in the match. It would have been a higher rating if there was a little bit momentum, and it would have been between Breaker and Sheamus. But to me, in my honest opinion, they did the triple threat match perfectly. It would have been better if it would have been Sheamus and Breaker. But I'm happy with the match and the outcome and everything like that. So
cool. All right. Tony, last word on this one.
Well, y'all know how I feel about triple threats as well, which I think, it's a common theme throughout the panel. I hate triple threats. Everything should be a three-way dance. The only triple threat I want to see is Mandy Rose and AJ Lee put it on me like Dush.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus, the My Girlfriend is Right Behind Me edition.
Oh, she knows how I am.
Well, the food for future thought. Anyway, go ahead.
But I hate triple threats. I like this match. I thought it was really good. I do agree. Going into it, I thought Kaiser was just there to take the fall. And I do agree with Tidal. I think this match would have made more sense just being 1-on-1 Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, and I think that would have been a great match. But Kaiser definitely showed what he could do and everything. I was really impressed with him. Like you said, Sheamus, I mean, he was definitely the vet in this thing, And I like that spot with Braun Breaker. We jumped off the apron onto Sheamus and Kaiser onto the table. I thought that was a pretty good spot for him. That spear, like Marcus said, was fucking phenomenal. But we do all this talk about how Dominic is really Eddie's kid and not maybe Mysterio's kid. Are we ignoring the fact that Braun Breaker is the new big bad booty daddy? Big Papa Nephew. That is
I call him the big bad booty
kid.
nephew.
He's the big bad booty nephew. That is Scott Steiner's kid all day, every day.
Because if you heard his promo, he sounds just like his uncle. It looks like his daddy, but he sounds just like his uncle.
He sounds like uncle. He does more of his uncle stuff than his daddy stuff. So this goes out to all my friends out there. Big Papa Nephew is your hookup. Holla if you
hear me. Wow. Okay. Well,
I gave it 4.5. I'm like you guys. This was the match of the night.
Cool. Okay, next up for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Walter / Gunther defending against Damian Priest. I'll go first on this one. I only gave this a 3.5. It was a decent enough match for what it was, but A, we've seen it before. B, it had basically the same ending as the last time that these guys fought. And C, they really turned the pace down a notch. And I didn't really think that was necessary or help this match in any way. That being said, Walter is a beast, a tremendous champion, and Damian Priest did sell the arm injury, and he did make himself look vulnerable and sympathetic in the match. The psychology was there, and it was a really good way of dealing with the match and the pace for it. But there was just too much that was repeated in this match. So even though it was good, I've seen it before, so I could only give it 3.5. Tony, what'd you think?
I gave it 3.5 as well. for a lot of the same reasons that you gave too. I mean, it was a good match. It was a decent match. But yeah, like you said, we've been there, done that. I thought the way they finished it off with Finn interfering, I mean, yeah, it was a cool finish, but we been there, done that. So it's kind of like it was basically a rewind at a big for a pay-per-view. But Walter showed why he is the ring general. Walter looked really good. I like him as a champion. I like his championship run. Hopefully he gets it. Hopefully, unlike Cody, he keeps the title through Mania. Granted, Cody might keep the title through Mania because that motherfucker defends the title less than Roman Reigns did on pay-per-views.
Well, yeah, but that's for completely different reasons. To be fair,
I don't care what the reason is. We have 3 pay-per-views in a row he didn't defend the title, but we're gonna see it on free TV on Saturday night's main event. Really?
there might be a reason for that.
I'm sick of Cody.
I know.
I'm like The Rock.
I'm not.
I'm like The Rock. I love Dusty. Fuck your son.
Well, okay. I'm not going to sit here and defend I'm not going to sit here and defend Cody, because I mean, I have my own bone to pick with him, but that's another rant entirely. Marcus,
I gave this match 2.75. I'm right on par with you guys. To me, they got to arena. To me, Cody. I mean, not Cody. Gunther.
Walter.
Priest. Yeah, Walter, Priest, and the Agent got to the ring. Got to the arena that night. What y'all want to do? Fuck it. Let's just do what we did.
the same shit.
Yeah, listen. I can't think of shit right now. Creative ain't told us what direction we going, so we'll just have fear and the fear, and we'll go back to that Judgment Day shit. That's all. Fuck it. Let's just do that.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. WWE creative can fuck up a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. You know, I will say that Priest did some good selling in the match. You know, it was almost believable that that his shoulder was really hurt for real. So I give him an A. I give him an A+ for that. But it was just like you all said, same thing. I said, like, damn, did they just pop in the tape of the last match? I mean, it was pretty much the same shit. So that's why I can only give it 2.75.
Okay. Ty, you get the last word on this one.
I give this a -2.
Oh,
God damn.
Okay.
If same shit, different toilet was a match, that was it.
Okay.
And we're gonna ignore the fact that Balor got involved to cost Priest the match. Balor is still salty with Priest. For what reason, I don't know. Y'all talk about WWE creative can fuck up a cup of coffee. WWE creative could probably fuck up a Chipotle burrito.
Well, they can certainly pass one.
Mm-hmm. They can fuck up a Chipotle burrito, and they can pretty much pass one. So.
Well,
this was one of those that we ain't got shit to do, so let's throw this on type of match. That's what that was.
Yeah, it seemed like a time filler. They wanted 5 matches instead of 4, and so they gave Priest a rematch that nobody thought he would win, and everyone knew he wasn't going to win.
That's went too long.
But the pace was slow, like they were killing time.
Yeah, like they could have ended that match like 5 minutes sooner.
Maybe. Speaking of which, match number 5, the main event, the men's War Games match, Bloodline 2.0 with Bronson Reed versus Bloodline Plus with CM Punk.
Can I take lead on this?
Of course, Tony, go ahead.
All right. This was the storytelling of the night. This was the story of the night. Like, this was more about that than the actual wrestling itself, to be 1,000% honest with you. I was really invested in this because, in all honesty, when it comes to war games and everything, this is what everybody wanted to see. I like the psychology behind it. I love how Solo's team came out together. I love how Roman's team came out all individually. I thought it was kind of funny how I've seen people like shocked that Roman Reigns didn't come out last in the entrance. The last person that comes out is the one that had to enter in the match. If he came out last, he'll be starting the match. And we know good and goddamn well, as much as I love our tribal chief, we know he ain't going the distance in this one. The one thing I did not like with the entrance was the Monday Night Football introductions of each person. Mm-hmm. This was too heated of a rivalry for that bullshit. I'm not saying that ain't good, but that would have been more for like a traditional Survivor Series match. You know, the old school 5-on-5 teams. It would have been better for that. Not for like a family feud, bloodline. No, you didn't need that bullshit. It kind of took away from it, in my opinion. I loved everything with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. From the look that Roman was giving him in the ring, him stopping Sammy for him going in, and for Sammy going there, Punk going in there, Punk teasing that like he was going to walk away, but he really just grabbing more weapons. But I did like the storytelling with them and how that ended with them. I think they missed the opportunity to tease a WrestleMania tag team match. The right two started it off, but Bronson Reed should not have been the next person in. That should have been Tana Loga, or whatever the other brother name is, and then Jimmy come out, and then your first four guys in there is the Gorilla Destinies versus the Usos. I think that would have been a better combination for the forward to kick this off because it did kind of start off a little slow. And you're also teasing setting up a future tag team match. So they definitely missed an opportunity with that, though. But, my God, Jacob Fatu was the MVP of this goddamn match. We all talk about what a future star Braun Breaker is. Jacob Fatu is it. I love what Solo's doing as a leader because his leadership is different than Roman, where everybody's working together. But his leadership is not as believable as Roman is because when Roman was the leader of the bloodline, he was the man. There was no doubt about it who was the best in the bloodline. Right now, you got a leader in Solo Sikoa who is not as good as Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is that guy. And I really think they've been holding him back so he don't outshine Solo any more than he already has, though. But on this one, though, I gave this match a higher rating than the women's War Games only because of the storytelling, not for the in-ring action, because they did the same bullshit with the weapons, the spots, and everything. And this War Games in general, no blood. I get it with the women, but there was none in the men's. I don't like WWE's watered-down War Games with no blood, no top on the cage, match ends with submission only. If you're not gonna be true War Games, the match beyond, don't do this shit no more. But I gave this one a 3.75.
Okay, I'll go next on this one. I gave this 3.5. 3.5, same rating as the Walter Priest match. It was inoffensive, but there was nothing wrong with the match, and it had its moments, especially with Jacob Fatu. He definitely was the MVP. But I'm of two minds on this match. On the one hand, the storytelling it was fine for what it was, and that's what you're supposed to do to build a match. On the other hand, it was almost as if this match only existed as a catalyst to further individual feuds. The Usos versus the Gorillas of Destiny, Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu versus Punk, Roman versus Solo, or any combination of those. And we're still in the I guess this would be the end of the Wolfpack versus Hollywood portion of the Bloodline storyline, and it looks like we're just going to barrel right into the reunion revival part where Roman turns heel again and reunites all of the Bloodline, either and then like throws out the Usos and Sammy again, and we're either way that they do it, or they could absorb a few people from the bad bloodline into the good one and turn them all face. I don't know. What was
No,
that? Oh, okay. But anyway, my point is that Tony, you're right. If they're going to do war games, they need to do it right, and they need to push the pedal to the metal instead of like letting it coast down the hill for storyline conclusions. That's not what war games is for. And the fact that they did some of the same thing that the women's match did, and there was still no blood, which is a bad sign for the Netflix debut. That happens in a month, and if they aren't going to push the envelope with Netflix and just have people doing cussing promos and that's it, then there's no point in having it on Netflix in the first place. So decent match for what it was, and they advanced the storyline, but I just don't like or care where the storyline is going. So only 3.5 for me. Ty?
Wait, before she go, Keen Ellie Show said in the comments, Roman will be Jacob WrestleMania's opponent, which I think it's too soon for that, but that's what they're thinking. Jacob Fatu and Roman at WrestleMania.
That would be interesting. It might light a fire under Roman's ass that is noticeably absent still. Yeah. But I digress. Ty, what did you think?
I give this match a 3. I agree with you, Robert, on what you said about having a War Games match. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. But I do agree with Tony about Jacob Fatu being the MVP of the match. Jacob Fatu is the one to look out for as a breakout star in 2024 and 2025.
Smart women agree with
lineup, but the whole starting lineup. But with the whole starting lineup, nah, y'all could have did without that. They could have did without the whole starting lineup. This is not Monday Night Football. This ain't Thursday Night Football. Don't do the starting lineup. Don't do the starting lineup.
Well, I'm just grateful it didn't last for half an hour. The entrances for major pay-per-views are getting fucking ridiculous when it comes to WWE.
I mean, the starting line would make more sense for the women than the guys, just because of how people do this, in my opinion.
Anyway, the only thing I liked about the match was Jimmy and Jey Uso giving double super kicks, Sammy with the hell of a kick, and Roman Reigns ending it with a spear and a pear tree.
Solo getting treated like a bitch.
Exactly.
Solo bitch. Solo bitch.
Oh, Jacob Fatu's gonna hit you guys. I love you, Solo.
No, he's not.
Well, he can love him while he's unconscious. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I'll give myself 1 today. Marcus, please have fun with this.
That's what she said. But
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, yes,
she did, Marcus.
Yeah, but no, I gave the match a 3. I thought the storytelling was better than the actual match. You know, I was about to get pissed off when the first person that came that stopped to get weapons was Bronson Reed. This month, the way he's been booked, why in God's name would he need a fucking weapon? He is a damn weapon. So that kind of pissed me off. But they did redeem themselves with Jimmy's entrance. That That's how you're
Yes.
supposed to come into a War Games. Your brother is in the ring getting his ass whooped, and he
Yep.
ran down there as fast as he could to jump in that ring and save his brother. So they
He's
kind
the
of,
only one
yeah, they kind of
between.
redeemed themselves with that. But the match itself, I mean, there was a cool spot with Jacob when he no sold getting DDT'd on a toolbox and popped up. Now that was a cool spot to me.
Yes.
I mean, I agree. Jacob was the star of this show. I think next year he's definitely main event in WrestleMania. I think next year. Um, but
Next
again,
year, you say next year. You talk about 2025, or you talking about the following one?
well, the following one, not this one.
Okay.
Mania 42.
Thank you, that one, yeah. But I mean, again, the match itself, I think it told a better story with the match between like Roman and Punk, and God and Usos, and the other competitors. To me, in the War Games, if you're going to do a pinfall, then it shouldn't be a single finish move. I think if they were going to finish, if they were going to pin Solo, that was the best way to do it, was to take everybody's finish and then get pinned that way. That, to me, that didn't make him look weak at all. But the best part of this match are the directions that they can go with this match. Because my prediction is that this is going to lead to the rest of Bloodline 2.0 turning on Solo, and it's going to reveal that The Rock was the tribal chief, calling the shots behind that. That's why I think because this is the second big match that Solo took the pin on it, and I lost my train of thought, and I think, as usual, when brothers fight, they always reunite them. So I see that being the direction they're going, and this was a good way to bring The Rock back to show him being a final boss, calling the shots behind the scenes, yada yada yada. Or they could go the direction that Jacob becomes the tribal chief and kicks Solo out. I mean, to me, there's a lot of directions that they can go with this feud, and I'm looking forward to them. But as for the match itself, I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Well, the one thing I would add, Marcus, is that I prefer the old school rules to the end of War Games, the match beyond, where it has to end by submission or surrender.
Yeah,
That
Yes.
adds a completely new. That adds a completely other
Surrender.
element to it.
I mean,
Or Sid Brian Pillman out.
yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that, because to me, the only times weapons to be used in a War Games, if it's like with Paul Ellering, where the manager is using them, or a complete chicken shit heel like Dominic. Other than that, weapons should not be in War Games.
They shouldn't be unless it's very limited.
Right.
I mean, you can bring in like a chair or
Right.
a chain or
Right.
something like that.
Right, one guy. That's
Yeah.
it.
The cage is the fucking weapon. That was the whole point of the match.
Exactly.
And if you're gonna bring weapons into the ring, can't you just walk out with them and have them in the cage with you, in a little lockup cage, and then that way you don't have to take all them.
Yeah.
Or better yet, do it even more old school and have the team surround the damn cage like they did in the first War Games. They were close to the cage. You could grab a weapon before you, like right there at ringside, and then walk through the damn door with it.
Because to me, what's the point? What's the point in them being locked in a cage before entering the cage? That's redundant to me.
Yeah. Yeah, there is too much like Elimination Chamber.
I'd rather do the Elimination Chamber versus the War Games as Survivor Series, or go back to your Survivor Series matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match would be better.
Like that, but you could have 2 to 3.
Well, I mean, I would prefer 4, because you could have two feuding singles and a feuding tag team, kind of the way they did it for Survivor Series 90. If you're going to streamline the match, have it 4 versus 4.
Yeah.
Okay, our next subject. Which was better, Survivor Series or Full Gear? And I'm going to go first on this one because I think I am going to be the odd person out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but Full Gear beats Survivor Series for me. Because there were a total of from my point of view, there were 3 4-star matches. One was only a quarter star away from being perfect. That was the Osprey and Fletcher match from Full Gear. There were 3 other matches that were in 4-star range, and I don't know. I just, when it comes to AEW versus WWE, again, they have equal but opposite problems, like Star Wars versus Star Trek. One is based on episodic television, and that's what they do best, but the other delivers in a single event-oriented context. WWE is better on TV. I will give you that. But AEW kills it on pay-per-view. To me, every damn time, the match quality is just fantastic when AEW does it. And when they have a month to get their shit together, they make all the right moves on pay-per-view. So I'm saying Full Gear is better than Survivor Series. And I'm going first because I think the panel is going to definitely outvote me. Let's go with Marcus first on this one because I like getting eviscerated on this show.
Well, no, Rob, I'm actually with you on this, barely. I mean, to me, both shows were kind of a letdown. I thought I expected more from both shows, but by the narrowest of margins. And today, December 1st, 3:57 Chicago, no, 3:58 Chicago time. The tiebreaker goes because the best match of both shows. I gotta fix my mouth to say this shit. The best match of both shows was a fucking women's match. And the Sasha Banks and was the best match of both shows. I like that match a little bit better than the fucking 3-way match for the US title. That's why I gave it to Full Gear. Because of that match alone, that was the best match of both shows to me. Damn, that was hard to say. But yeah, that was a tiebreaker. So I'm with you, Rob. I'm going Full Gear.
Macaulay Culkin face, just in time for Christmas. Wow. Ty, please.
Full Gear did it was the better pay-per-view. Absolutely Full Gear.
Wow. My God.
Bobby right now is like throwing up.
Bobby is going to fire us all. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, wait till my turn.
No, Mastermind's going to put his
I'ma
foot in
keep
all
my
of our
job.
asses.
Unbelievable. Well, Ty, what do you have anything else for the show, or any comparisons here?
The only thing I didn't like about Survivor Series was the triple threat match for the triple threat match. That was the only thing I didn't like about it. The reason I didn't like it was because that triple threat match with Sheamus, Breaker, and Kaiser was like a guy having a threesome with like two women, one gets more attention than the other, and that's what that match was like.
That does seem unfair.
Yeah, but you know what? Before you go,
But y'all see my point I'm trying to make though.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
yeah, but before you go, Tony, I mean, here's the thing for me: Survivor Series is supposed to be one of the big four for WWE pay-per-views, and to me, it didn't deliver to be one of the big four. Whereas Full Gear was just another show, booked as another show for me. So I expected more from Survivor Series. So to me, that's why I had to mark. I was expecting a lot more. That's why for me to mark down to me.
Okay, and now to the future co-host of the newly scaled down FTW Future Focus, Tony Motown Allen. Please give us your opinion.
Before I give you my opinion, I'm going to give you King Ellie's show opinion. Full Gear had a couple great matches, but stories I did not care for, especially that Death Rider story story. They gave Full Gear 5.5 out of 10. They gave Survivor Series 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Who the hell
And thank you
rated
for
that?
leaving. And thank you for leaving your comment in there. Everybody else, comment in there. If you guys got something to say, I will read it.
Okay.
Me myself, and it wasn't a blowout. Like it was a slight. I gave a slight edge to WWE over Full Gear, and it wasn't a huge margin. And in all honesty, in my opinion, I think Full Gear, as far as I'm not saying the in-ring work and Full Gear was like bad, but it wasn't great. I think the previous, honestly, at least the last 4 pay-per-views that they had better in-ring work than they did at Full Gear. I think if we would have been comparing it to one of the other shows that they did, like All In, All Out, and I think another one they did, I think those had better match quality than Full Gear did. There's only one match I thought was better at Full Gear than the best match here, which was the Triple Threat, and that for me it was the Ospreay match. That was my match of the night there. If you look at best match between the two, that was it. But overall for show, and part of it is I do like WWE more than AEW. I'm more invested into WWE. I'm enjoying the Bloodline storyline. I enjoyed the women's war games, even though there was a lot of stuff that they could have done different. But there was a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed in it, though. So as far as like just sitting down and enjoying the pay-per-view, I was more excited for a Survivor Series over Full Gear. I enjoyed watching it more. And part of the reason Full Gear, they need to cut out some of the bullshit. Less is more sometimes. I've been saying that every time we do these things. I always say less is more. Their shows are too long with all the extra matches. You get rid of 2 or 3 matches on the AEW pay-per-view, I think it'll be a better experience. WWE, you do that shit. Vince McMahon, you try to book every motherfucker that he can on the show. We have all these 5-10 minute matches, and it wasn't all that great. Less is more, in my opinion. But when it comes to Survivor Series being a more, I've been to a WrestleMania 25. I've been to SummerSlam. I'm going to Royal Rumble. In my opinion, once I go to Royal Rumble, I am done with WWE pay-per-views because I hit all the big ones. Survivor Series is technically a big 4, but it's a big 4 for longevity. I have not been excited for Survivor Series like I have for like the other pay-per-views. Like Royal Rumble and Mania to me are definitely it. And I think SummerSlam is more of a big show than Survivor Series. And Survivor Series is pretty close to SummerSlam as far as timing goes. I don't look at them as a big 4 anymore. I don't.
That's because Rumble to Mania has become a season now. It's the WrestleMania season. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. I used to be excited for WrestleMania season, but nowadays I am not so much because of certain things that it's become. But you are right in that Survivor Series and SummerSlam just don't seem as important anymore.
And I think SummerSlam is more important than Survivor Series because there's a bigger gap between SummerSlam and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the big show of the summer. Survivor Series is just there. And I think part of the reason it just kind of lost it for me is, I mean, Survivor Series is not Survivor Series no more. It's just a name. Like back in the day when it was important is when we had those Survivor Series matches.
It was a specialty event. Yes.
And it doesn't have that specialty feel anymore. Like, let's say they start doing Royal Rumbles, and instead of having a Royal Rumble, they have a chamber match to determine who's going to main event WrestleMania. Royal Rumble won't be the same without a Royal Rumble match. Survivor Series is not the same without Survivor Series matches.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I even liked the Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series. To me,
Yeah.
That's part of what kept the show alive, in my opinion.
SmackDown.
The brand split show versus show concept kept Survivor Series interesting for a long time. So
me too.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked about Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series, you had superstars from Raw show up on SmackDown. And then you also had SmackDown stars from SmackDown show up on Raw and vice versa. I also like the Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT Survivor Series. They did the same concept.
That one was in Chicago and I was live for that. People ate up Keith Lee. People just loved him. And I liked that show for the most part. There were parts of that show I found extremely offensive, but that part of the show worked. But I like Raw versus SmackDown for Survivor Series because that's one of the only times of the year that the brand split actually means anything.
Yes, that's absolutely
right. And it's the only time the draft mattered, and all of that. So, but that's another debate for another time. We could probably get it. We could probably get into that for Old School when that comes up. Oh yeah. Speaking of Old School, our next order of business is the 10-year anniversary celebration of the formation of the New Day. That's going to be happening on Raw tomorrow. Yeah, and we're going to be we are going over our speculation over what we think is going to happen. Ty, let's start out with you because this seems like a subject that you will probably have a very good insight on.
I'm telling y'all, I've been predicting this for months. Here's what I think is going to happen on the 10-year anniversary of New Day's formation. One of three things is going to happen. No, actually, two things. One of two things is going to happen. Either Xavier gets sick of Kofi's shit and turns on him. I've been saying this for months. I've been saying it since God knows when. I think Xavier's going to turn on Kofi, or Kofi turns on Xavier, or Big E makes his return and they have a heel faction and turn all three members of the New Day heel, having Big E as the manager. Because I don't know if he's cleared to wrestle. If Big E's not clear to wrestle, have him in a managerial role if New Day goes heel. But like all the guests on the Maury show say during the DNA testing episodes, I'm 1,000% sure Xavier is going to turn on Kofi. I'm 1,000% sure, Maury.
You are not the heel.
No!
You are not the heel. I'll go next on this one because I have to disagree with you. Because we all know what's going to happen here. Somebody is going to turn on somebody else. And the obvious idea is that Xavier is going to turn heel, nail Kofi and Big E, and then just like walk away and become a singles heel. That they're and he and Kofi are going to feud for a while, and then both of them are going to be like shuffled off to separate corners and forgotten about, because that's what WWE Creative has been trying to do to all three of these guys for 10 years. They put them in this faction trying to kill all three of them off because they didn't want them to have a job, and all three of them stuck together, got everything over, and became they became one of the greatest tag teams of all time, against even my will, because I couldn't stand all of the stupid comedy shit that they did with the plastic unicorn horns and the bootios and all, and the trombone and all that bullshit. It drove me nuts. When they
I miss Francesca.
Look, I'm Mr. No Fun. Admittedly, I hate comedy shit in wrestling. I always fart on it. But when they got in the ring, Kofi and Xavier are a fantastic tag team when they get in the ring. They deliver each and every damn time, especially against the Usos. That was one of the best classic tag team feuds that WWE has produced in the last 20 years. That being said, I think it's going to go it should go the direction that's not obvious. I think what's going to happen is that Kofi is going to cheap shot Xavier, and when Xavier turns to Big E for help, Big E is going to cheap shot him too, and I think that Big E is going to start a new faction with a new name as a replacement for MVP. He's going to manage Kofi and a few other people, maybe maybe the Street Profits. Kofi Kingston and the Street Profits as a heel faction managed by Big E, because I think his neck is too far gone for him to ever wrestle again.
Yeah,
So
I
I think that's the direction that they're going to go. It would be completely unexpected because everybody thinks Xavier's going to turn. I think that Kofi's going to be the heel with Big E as a manager, and they're going to expand it. I hope, but like we said, WWE can ruin a latte by pissing directly in it. Marcus, what do you think?
Okay, I think one of two things is going to happen. I think either Kofi is going to become the heel because he was effective to me as a heel, and he's definitely a better wrestler than Xavier to me. I could never take Xavier serious as a singles wrestler because Xavier is Buddy Roberts to me. He's the guy. He's the guy that is there to take the pin in the big match.
Okay.
To me. So I can't see Xavier as a heel. He to me Xavier as a singles heel is like Giovanni to me. From what you call it, from Imperium, or
Giovanni Vinci.
yeah, right, or and this is my prediction that probably won't happen, but my prediction is Xavier becomes the heel, but more as a manager, and he starts a new faction, and his new faction, the person he's going to manage, that's going to come in and destroy Kofi and Big E if he's healthy enough, and will give him a major push is Obafemi because Obafemi, even though he's great in the ring with that heavy ass African accent, we know that's not going to fly in WWE. So I can see Xavier being his manager and his mouthpiece, and he just beats the shit out of both of them, and they give him a major push. But I obviously, but that's my prediction. That probably won't happen.
It's interesting though. What do you say, Motown?
What I would like to see happen is Big E is clear for in-ring action. They tease all the heel turn shit. Big E rights the ship. And the Fabulous Freebirds, I mean the New Day, keep going. But that's La La Land. That's Fantasy Land. That shit ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna piggyback on what the gentleman below me said. Now he had two predictions, and I'm going with one of the two. And it's his far-fetched one. Because I don't think his far-fetched one is so far-fetched. Between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods is more believable as a heel than Kofi at this point in their careers. I can't see Kofi getting booed. I just can't see it. I don't see him being an effective heel at this point in his career. Now, like you said, Marcus, Kofi's a better wrestler than Xavier Woods for in-ring work. That's more the reason to make Xavier Woods the heel. Kofi could get by winning matches on his ability. Xavier Woods need to be that chicken shit heel that has to cheat to win. So that's why I think he would be a better heel. And I love your idea of putting him over Femi. I love that idea. Give Xavier Woods either over Femi or something. Like he could start his own little faction, turn on the New Day and the New Day. No, whatever Big E can do for a spot, I'm sure it ain't going to be a big spot that he'll do, but he do something to Big E, take out Kofi Kingston with whoever his new henchman are. Obi Femi be a good choice. Probably like to see like at least another wrestler with them, maybe two. But I see Xavier Woods in the New Day, going heel, and maybe have a couple people for his run and everything to help him win matches and everything. But I can see him being a chicken shit heel. I'm not buying Kofi as a heel. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see a 4-man faction. The 4 Black Stallions. Xavier Wood, Oba Femi, and the Street Profits.
Or what I was thinking was Apollo Crews, because I was surprised that they did.
Yeah.
That very surprised that they didn't release him with along with what's his name, who's the big ball, oh, goddamn, the guy that they just released who won the
Omos?
No, not Omos.
Baron Corbin?
Yeah, thank you. I was surprised he didn't get released with him. So they must have something playing for him, and he could do the jobs in the big matches. So I was going to say Obafemi and Cruz as part of that faction.
That would be good. I like that. I like that faction.
That would be a hell of a lot better than Omos. I forgot about that guy, and I was trying to keep him out of my mind, but now I've got PTSD coming back. Oh my God. I completely forgot. And he wasn't released?
I think Omos was released, wasn't he?
I hope so. He sucked.
I thought he still had a contract with them. I don't know, but he could be released. Yeah. And going to MVP, of course, this is MVP saying it though. MVP said that he is way more athletic than WWE allowed him to show in the ring.
I can believe it.
I hope so, because what they did show of him in the ring was absolutely terrible.
And that's what he's upset. He hated how they limited him in the ring because he brought way more to the table than what they allowed him to do.
I really hope so, because he was only about 2 or 3 notches above Giant Gonzalez, the way they did use him. I mean, it was Great Khali 2.0 with him, and that ugly ass, stupid waste of space match he had with Lesnar at Mania 38 or 9. That was an absolute waste of time.
I had high hopes for that. I thought that was going to be a breakout.
That was my piss break match. That was my I don't give a fuck match, if I recall. Oh God. Oh, I have lingering trauma of that match.
That's the safe bet, Rob.
Guys,
because normally
Omos is still at WWE. They just haven't done anything with it. He hasn't been on WWE TV since October of this year. So he's been
But
absent from WWE
I
for
thought
like
I heard
2
he was
months.
still in the contract with them.
Oh, okay.
Well, God help us all and save the veal. Okay, our next order of business. What did everyone think of the pre-Survivor Series sit-down interview with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and CM Punk? And what do you theorize Punk's favor will be? Let's start with Motown here. What do you think of the interview, and what does Punk have up his sleeve for Paul Heyman?
Well, first of all, with the interview, I know Marcus. I know Rob. Did you watch Lucha Underground?
Yes. Well, no, I didn't watch Lucha Underground. I've only seen clips of it.
So I think Marcus and Ty, if they see it like I did, might see it. It had a Lucha feel to me as far as that promo goes. Like I felt like instead of Paul Heyman, that was Dario out there talking
Yeah,
to the wrestlers.
I can see that.
I love the feel of it. It was a lot different. It reminded me of Lucha. I absolutely loved that though. I like how they did it, and they played that into the match. I think it was a good setup for the War Games match. But it was more of a setup for Punk and Reigns, more so than Bloodline versus Bloodline. As far as the favor goes that CM Punk has for Paul Heyman, I think Paul Heyman's about to be his wise man. I could see Punk like, hey, when I was at my best, you was by my side. Let's run it back. I think Paul Heyman's going to choose between Punk and Roman Reigns. And I think that's going to feed into what Mark was talking about earlier, with Roman like going full-fledged heel, get rid of the Usos and Sammy, having his own heel bloodline. But I think that's going to feed into that, though.
Okay, Marcus?
I agree with a lot of what Tony said. You know, I didn't think about Lucha Underground, but I thought them. But now that you say it, I can totally see it. I thought the segment was well produced. I mean, you can really sense the tension between them two. I mean, I really felt like these are two guys that really didn't like each other. I mean, I really felt that, CM Punk was like, look, fuck you, Roman. I don't want to team with you. I'm only here because of Heyman. That's it. I don't give a fuck about you. I mean, I could really sense that in this match. Now, in terms of the favor, my thought is that Heyman is going to be in Punk's corner for a world title match at WrestleMania. I think he's going to come out to a cult of personality. He's going to stop and turn around and point to the entrance, and Heyman's going to come out as his manager for that world title match against whoever at WrestleMania.
More likely Gunther.
Whoever, I can see that. Whoever, yeah.
Okay. I'm of two minds on this. Kind of the same way I was about the War Games matches, both of them at the actual show. Yes, it was well produced. Yes, it was appropriately dramatic, especially for a backstage WWE interview. However, I can't help but wonder if we are still going to end up with a whole lot of sizzle with very little steak. I said this on a comment on Motown Wrestling Group that in order for this to be good in the end, it's got to lead to a at least decent match. Because WWE has for years been trying to condition people into believing that the payoff for the build to a match is the build itself, or the build to another build for whatever comes next. And if that's the case, you might as well be watching The Bold and the Beautiful, because that's what they do every week. Wrestling is supposed to be the soap opera for men. That's what it's been called. But the reason that it appeals to men is because it is action oriented. And if the only payoff to the build that we're going to get are all of these excellent promos that are supposed to traditionally set up good matches, and all we get are mediocre matches in return, then it's all a waste. And that's I mean, granted, this could lead somewhere interesting. And I admit that I really have no idea what Punk's actual favor from Heyman is going to be, whether it's going to be involving stabbing Roman in the back, or whether it's going to involve taking him on temporarily to help him win a title or whatnot. And both of those are good. Both of those are good ideas, by the way. But I'm not so much worried about the overall favor that Punk is going to ask. I am more worried about where it's going to lead, and it needs to lead to a good match in the end. And I am worried about that because, let's face it, collapsible muscles Punk is on his last days as a professional wrestler. He came back too late in his life, and he's accumulated too many injuries, and he's had half a dozen matches in the last year that he's returned. And if they're building toward a match with Reigns, he is physically limited himself and has been for a few years now. That was the only reason the bloodline was really formed, was to give him a horseman-esque faction so he could be protected. So I'm not going to take a guess at what Punk's surprise is. It'll probably fall along those two lines, but it's got to lead to something good in the ring for me. Otherwise, it's just a waste. Ty, you get last word.
In all honesty, though, Rob, they can have an iconic match without being a good match, and the person that would shit on the match would be you. But they can have a Rock Hogan type match where it's more about that experience, because Rock Hogan, that match sucked.
Yeah.
The match itself sucked. But so many wrestling fans, about 90% of the wrestling fans would say that's one of those most iconic matches in WrestleManias. So many would, because of who they are. And if Rock and Hogan could do that, Roman and Punk could do that, because as limited as Punk is in the ring, it's a hell of a lot better than Hulk Hogan was when he faced off against The Rock.
Well, you know something?
Emma Hogan, at that stage of Hogan's career, he was even worse than he was in his prime.
Okay, if I have to pick from the bottom of the barrel here and all the apples are rotten, the one that I would rather pick out is Roman versus Punk at WrestleMania rather than Roman versus Rock. Because I can, as injured as Punk might be, I can trust him to have a better match than old Dwayne. I'm sorry, but the Roman versus Rock, even with the nostalgia you're talking about, that would be worse than Rock versus Hogan. I'm sorry. It just would.
Worse. But here's the thing I would worry about is for the WWE, though. It's November. Can you really have a program and count on Punk to still be healthy come WrestleMania? We got 6 more months till WrestleMania.
No. If he only does mostly interviews, if he has Roman Reigns schedule, absolutely.
Well, that's a damn good question from both of you. I understand what you're talking about when it comes to having iconic matches that stink. At the time that the Hogan Rock match happened, I loved it because of the redemption arc that they gave to Hogan in front of the Sky Dome crowd. Since then, though, I will admit wholeheartedly that match was mostly throwaway. It was mostly emotional reaction, and I believe that I've outgrown it.
And I challenge anybody who loves that match mute your TV and watch.
Yeah.
Watch that match without audio.
Yeah, over the years, it has suffered in terms of quality. Emotionally, if you love it, God bless you. And there are certain moments of that match, like the Hulk up.
I completely get the love for the match. I get it.
Well, like I said, I can understand how someone can love nostalgia that much, but since I didn't like the Attitude Era as much as other people did to begin with, I just my nostalgia for The Rock is practically zero. So him versus Reigns would do absolutely, it would disgust me. I would rather see Reigns versus Punk, because I know that Punk can at least do a little bit more because he doesn't have a Screen Actors Guild membership. Ty, go ahead and close us out.
Unfortunately, I did not see the interview, so I can't provide any input.
Okay. Do you have a theory on Punk's surprise, or do you just want to skip?
I'm gonna skip it because
Okay, I'll pick for Ty.
Okay.
Here's the favor. Get AJ a contract.
Oh God.
Well, that would be anticlimactic.
Not for me. I'm a climax all over that motherfucker.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I thought we were getting a little long in the tooth for another ding. Holy God. Okay. Moment of the week. And Ty, since you abstained from the last one, I will let you have first dibs on moment.
Thank you, Robert. My moment of the week, and I predicted this. I said this was going to happen at Full Gear. But my moment of the week is Camille turning on Mercedes Moné on the Thanksgiving Eve episode of Dynamite. Y'all don't know how happy I was when Camille finally told Mercedes Moné off. When Mercedes started running her mouth, Camille was like, shut up. Are you stupid or are you dumb? You can't fire me because I quit. I was happier than a pig in shit when Camille got rid of Mercedes' ass.
Camille Brickhouse, one of a kind.
Oh yeah, Durham native Camille Brickhouse. Don't sleep on her.
Sweet. Marcus, what you got?
My moment of the week happened on SmackDown, and it was the Jacob Fatu versus Jey Uso match. This is what AEW Tony Khan should watch on a textbook on how to get a guy over as a superstar. I mean, he basically beat the shit out of Jey Uso, and we know that how over Jey Uso is right now. And for him to pretty much beat Jey Uso clean, I mean that, and then following his performance in War Games, they have done a hell of a good job as establishing him as the badass that most of us knew he was when he was mostly in the Indies. A plus booking on how to get Jacob Fatu over. That was my moment of the week.
One word on that. Jey Uso versus Jacob Fatu for the World Championship at WrestleMania 42. I think that would be a great match.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Tony, moment.
We already discussed it. It was a promo with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman. That was my favorite moment of the week. We already discussed it, so that's all I got.
Well, okay, no problem. Moving on to tap out moment, and we will start with the inventor of the tap out of the week, Marvelous Marcus Buckley. I can't wait to hear this.
Well, y'all know my tap out was going to be the women's Hell in a Cell match, but that's too easy. I had to break it down to Liv Morgan brought a fucking bat into the cage. The other women held Rhea Ripley open, arms up. She hit Rhea in the midsection, the ribs, and the back. What, 5, 6, 7 times? And 5 minutes later, she's no selling, getting the shit beat out of her with a fucking baseball bat. Ungoddamn believable. I just like, again, if you're going to no sell a baseball bat or any other weapon, why the fuck have it? Okay, I mean, even somebody like Bronson Reed with all that girth in his midsection should not be selling a shot with a baseball bat. Not a fucking woman. Nia Jax. If Nia Jax got hit in a bat with a baseball bat in her wide ass, she should not be no selling that. Okay. Not let alone somebody with a slim waist like Rhea Ripley. Complete bullshit. I y'all don't know how close I came to turning this shit off. I mean, it was that bad. For I had to say that. I had to say that. That was just bad. Nobody should be no selling a shot with a baseball bat, let alone multiple shots with a baseball bat. That was just absolutely terrible.
But you
And that
shouldn't need multiple baseball shots. Like
right,
one should do it.
No.
right, but then selling multiple shots. I mean, think about it. I almost forgot that she got hit with a baseball bat. Complete no sale. Bullshit. No, I hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
I can't say that I blame you. Ty.
My tap out has to be from NXT. It involves the NXT GM Ava getting accidentally knocked down. How this all started was Ava had gotten all the people who were eliminated for the Iron Survival match from Deadline and let them know that they were going to get a second chance match to earn the last spot. I still hope Jada Parker and Lexis King get the last spot on the men's and women's side, because I told y'all, if they don't get it, it's going to be some hell. So after that happens, Eddie Thorpe talks to Ava, and then he puts his hands on Ava, and next thing you know, the tag teams were brawling, and one of the guys from the tag team knocked Ava over, and HBK thought Eddie did it. You know, Shawn Michaels is pissed. You know, HBK was pissed when he gotta jack you up and,
Man,
basically had to push you near the garage door, and that's what he did to Eddie Thorpe. So I think it might be leading to something like a feud between Thorpe and HBK. I don't know. I'll just have to see on NXT. But Jada Parker, Lexis King, both of them better get the final spot in the Iron Survival match for Deadline. They better.
Hey Ty, don't be surprised if it's Kalani Jordan and Axiom.
What about Kalani Jordan acting as a heel?
No, they get the final spots. Don't be surprised. I mean, they both classic baby faces, so don't be surprised if.
Well, if Jada doesn't get it, I hope Kalani Jordan gets it on the women's side, because Kalani's my second pick to win it. If Jada doesn't win it,
Yeah, and then with Axiom, I mean, I can see what them doing shit with him and Fraser. I think it's gonna be.
Okay, I have to go next because this, yeah. My tap out moment of the week, I have to say this as delicately as I humanly possibly can, because it was Otis's naked ass.
Oh yeah, that was almost.
Oh my God!
That was almost mine. That was almost my tap out. Yeah.
Who in the absolute hell
Yeah.
thought that A, this was a good idea, B, that it was funny, and C, that it would sell anything?
That was horrible.
No.
Oh my God in heaven. And the person I feel the worst about this is Otis himself. Because not only are they still body shaming him, not only are they still wasting him as a talent, not only is he still a goddamn joke, but they are using him as a way to hawk shit in the worst way possible, even worse than they are with LA Knight and the goddamn Slim Jims. This was an absolute.
I don't know what's worse. Mike Tyson's bare butt when he was after that interview leading up to the fight that I want to delete from Netflix, or that.
Okay, they fuzzed out Otis's junk on both sides.
They should have fuzzed out his butt too, because I didn't want to see that.
They should have fuzzed out that whole damn segment. What pisses me off the most? Survivor Series was an inoffensive show, and for a long time, WWE has had some segment, some aspect of the show, a match or whatever, that pissed me off to the breaking point. And Survivor Series came just a centimeter away from not doing it, and then they showed that garbage. Whoever was responsible for that, I want to challenge them to a one-on-one War Games match, and I want to cheese grater their face into that damn cage. I know it's not Bruce Pritchard because he's absent without pay, and I hope it stays that way forever, but whoever was responsible for that bullshit needs to have my foot surgically removed from their colon.
Yeah, that was an old Vince move right there.
Well, that since it was shit on the head, that doesn't surprise me. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. That's 2 dings for me this week. Tony, I am going to let you in the show, in the segment today, as our substitute host. Take it away. The floor is yours.
When we were talking before the show, and we were kind of hinting around to what we were going to do, I had a feeling that me and Rob had the same tap out, and we definitely did, because that bullshit. And I said, and I told Rob before we went on the air, if you got the same one as me, I ain't changing mine because of that fucking bad. Prior to that, I was like, okay, what's going to be? I was honestly in my head, like, we get to Saturday, because the show was Saturday, kind of trying to think what's going to be my moment and tap out and all that stuff. And I didn't really have like that definitive, like, for sure, this is it. And out come fucking Otis. What in the Vince McDiddy bullshit was that? So many times Rob said that Vince is not in charge anymore. And I'm like, no, Rob, you're wrong. Vince, like, that had Vince McMahon written all over it.
Yep.
Vince McDiddy. Vince McMahon is dead.
Look, the old man may be gone. I've said this before, and I'll say it again until my face turns blue and my eyes pop out. The old man may be gone, but as long as there is someone working in that company that shares his fucked up philosophy of life, shit like that is still going to keep happening. And I am still going to have serious problems with WWE as long as the McDiddy philosophy survives. And I'm going to say it the way Motown says it, because that's exactly the situation and feel that man has brought to the product for at least 20 years when he stopped listening to his audience and had a monopoly stranglehold on an industry that thankfully is now broken and hopefully won't come back. Shit like that is what infuriates me about WWE, and it's why I just can't give them the chance that they deserve, even with the endeavor and the bullshit about the merger and Vince being gone, whether permanently or not makes no difference. That garbage, that sort of garbage needs to go away, and it needs to go away then, now, forever, and together.
Yeah, I mean, it served no purpose at all.
And it didn't even sell anything. I would never buy one of those damn shirts after seeing that crap. And I don't think anybody ever would. I mean, I used to buy Slim Jims every once in a while. But because of the sponsorship of the matches that they do with LA Knight, where you can tell that LA Knight is going to win if the match is sponsored by Slim Jims, I go out of my way to avoid buying Slim Jims, even when I'm in the mood for them. I won't snap into it.
And I got a question. Does anybody even remember the name of the fucking t-shirt?
No.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It defeated the purpose. We talking about Otis fat ass, and not talking about the damn t-shirt.
Yes. And that's the saddest part of all, because
this
Otis
was worse than the Maximum Male Model shit.
Oh God, yes it was.
By far.
Yes.
By far.
Top model.
So basically, I'm not saying it's Triple H, but I'm going to say it's Triple H because he's the boss. Triple H outdid Vince with that segment.
Oh my God.
The absolute biggest travesty in all of this is the wasting of Otis. Despite his body type, which is no worse than Bronson Reed's. Let's be fair. Bronson Reed has the same body type as Otis, yet he is in the main event and Otis is not. And Otis is a talented motherfucker.
Otis is very, but yeah, that's exactly how they use him, though.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You guys gotta say it right. Otis.
Well, Otis is how you say it in Louisiana. I had a great uncle named Otis, so I know what you're talking about. But it makes me sick to my stomach that guys like Nakamura. Oh, I forgot. My moment of the week. Did I say my moment of the week? I think I might have.
Remember saying it. I thought I missed it because I didn't remember what your moment was.
No. I skipped over my moment of the week. It was also at Survivor Series. It was the Nakamura ring entrance. Normally, I fast forward over those because they're too damn long for WWE pay-per-views. But Naka Taker, that entrance was awesome considering that it was hot for Nakamura. And it was a salve on the wounds for what they did to Otis, because both of those guys, at the end of the day, are extraordinary wrestlers, extraordinary athletes, and WWE screws them over for stupid-ass reasons. Otis, because he looks like he lives in a trailer park, and Nakamura, because he speaks broken English. Those are ridiculous reasons to not give somebody a chance to get over, and those are just two of the reasons that WWE just twists my junk in a knot. And on that note, I think that we can close out this episode of FTW Future Focus, the Fantastic Four. This has been a fantastic show, and I can't wait for next week. Our therapy is complete. I am your not so humble correspondent, Robert Black. On behalf of the Tigress Ty Nickerson, Marvelous Marcus Buckley, and Tony Motown Allen, and our thoughts and our love to the founder of our feast, the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. Hopefully he'll be back next week, but we will definitely see you in the future. And Tony, hit that James Brown, baby!
Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, Jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you higher. Ow! All right. You wanna do it again? You wanna do it again, huh? Yeah, let's do one more time. We gotta take you higher. Bam. Brother? Yeah? Now I want everybody, let Fred blow about 2 choruses. And then I want to wave you in. Let's go and do that. We get this now, all right? Yeah, all right. I'm going to get that fella with the little horn over there. You done change horns on me. Fred, can you take us higher? Yeah. Take us higher. Fred! 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 Hit it.